Right, it's time for the build guide for the build that I've been using to do this race. It's a semi-traditional minion build, not quite traditional. So we'll go through it and you can judge for yourself what's traditional and not. I think the defenses are perhaps not traditional. So let's go through the skills first. So the skills. We've got our skeletal warrior. All our minions have got feeding frenzy and muster on them. The skeletal warrior has got Ominomu's tithe for a bit of extra fun and defenses. We've got sacrificial lamb, which is for our pain offering, and a heavy swing just for a bit of extra damage. They are currently doing 34,000 DPS. Then because we are witch, we are using blasphemy, or lich should I say. Blasphemy obviously gives you your curse aura. It's the purple sort of surrounding I've got there. Um, we're using temporal chains for defense that slows all the enemies that come within range. That's very useful. We've got magnified area for increased area of effect. We've got upwelling. This is quite important, which gives all our minions extra DPS. I'll show this value just now. And a very new, I like this support her declaration. New one, enemies in your presence, which is quite large. As soon as they come to your presence, they get intimidated, which is 10% reduced damage dealt and increased 10% damage taken. So straight up defense and offense. I really like that. It's expensive, 200 divine. But for those who are not familiar with the Lich Ascendancy, we have got this node here, Rupture the Soul. Cursed enemies killed by you or your allies in your presence have a 33% chance to explode, dealing a quarter of their life as chaos. This explodes mobs when running through maps. So that's the reason we've got the blasphemy going. I don't want to be casting it. It's an aura. Then our main damage dealing skill is skeletal sniper. The reason we are going with the skeletal sniper is because we managed to get this fine belt where we managed to get minions have 92% surpassing chance to fire an additional projectile on this. So we're getting quite a nice double shot pretty much 92% of the time. We could have gone with the other mages, the frost mages, or the specters. It's just the screen clutter is crazy, so I enjoy the snipers for that. Again, the muster and feeding frenzy. These guys we've given Ulnatal's embrace because they're doing physical damage, so they can break 20% of chaos damage to break armor, and they get 40% of the physical damage as extra chaos damage. So I'll show you the amount of damage that does. We've got fork. The reason we're using fork rather than multi-shot, etc., is the initial hits at full strength, and it just gives you a little bit of extra damage clearing. I've tried every other skill here, and I just always keep coming back to fork. And then rapid attacks, 25%. These guys are our damage dealing, 119,000 DPS, 300. Just to show you what Ulnatal's Embrace does, massive damage boost there. Massive damage boost. So physical damage, half, chaos damage, half, about. So they are our damage dealers, our killers, and then the rest of the muster minions, for lack of a better phrase. So we've got our Storm Mage with shock and rapid casting. Storm Mage on its own is dealing almost 60k, 58. Got the Cleric. We've got the Wolfpack. Wolfpack's another sort of utility and damage dealing, same two things. We've given them minion splash so they can weaken enemies and hit multiple guys because they're always in the fray. We've given them a bit of damage prevention for us, so 10% of the damage goes to them, and we've given them a bit of a Infernal Legion buff, just so blinding enemies obviously helps as well, and a little bit of splash damage. This also allows me, if I need to, cast the gas arrow with the storm mages, that it can explode, which is useful if you really need to get a bit of extra DPS. Then Brute's another utility selection because of gain their command ability here, which will give us a bit of 10%, I think it is, Warcry. Makes attacks more powerful, and again, the intimidate's not really important, but the 10% extra damage, I think it is. Otherwise, they've just got a minion splash again, and rage, just a bit of things. I don't know, I'm not sure about this rage. Then defensively, I've got convalescence on with prolonged duration. I did have upwelling 1 on this as well, but I needed spirit. I thought having the additional sniper is actually more DPS overall than upwelling 1. Unearth for just if I want to cast something at some point, just to get rid of the boredom. I could put another minion in the slot, but that means I'd have to get the sniper out, and I think the DPS overall is better having another sniper. And then your standard pain offering, just with magnified area, Brutus's brain, prolonged duration, and minion mastery. So those are the skills. I don't think there's anything techie there. I think it's all pretty standard stuff. I just go through the gear while we're here. +5 to minions, got the critical hit chance, increased damage. Would have liked attack speed on this, but couldn't find it. Maybe I must try and get it. Crafting this takes all season sometimes. Maybe I must try and give it a go to get an attack speed one. But for the moment, this is pretty decent, high spirit, etc. Got the +2 minion helm, spirit reservation, 3 sockets. I did the 3 sockets, and I had to Raven's touch this as well. We'll talk about the amulet now, because I bought this amulet, a +5 amulet, really good amulet, great defenses on this amulet, great spirit on this amulet, but it was allocating gigantic following, which I was taking in the passive screen. So I needed to get Warlord Leader on, so I managed to craft this helmet and put it Raven's touched with Warlord Leader, and I got the corrupted triple socket, which was incredible. So that was lucky. This helmet took me also 2 weeks to craft, I think. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of helms I went through. Standard +2 minion focus, nothing special there. Very high energy shield, of course. Also increased 40% area effect of curses. I'm not actually sure if that works with blasphemy, because I don't think it's the curse that has the area of effect. I think it's blasphemy, so I'm actually unsure about this increased area effect of curses, so I might try and change that at some point. Rings, minion damage, minion buffs, rarity, minion damage, buffs, rarity. I crafted this quite early in the league. This took me a long while to craft as well. It's usually the first thing I start crafting in the league is my armor, and this is where I think my build is slightly different to everyone else's. If you saw on the helm, you would have seen here as well, armor applies to elemental damage. You see I'm going armor and energy shield, and this is I really love this defensive spec. It's real tanky. I feel like, everyone's personal preference, but for me, I feel this is the best tankiness I can get, is with this armor applies to elemental damage. If I manage to get somewhere you have to craft it, you can get equal for chaos damage as well. So I crafted this with again the 12% spirit reservation on it. You have to get that great spirit rolls on this. I think it's a T2, it's not a T1, but to craft it with the armor applies to elemental damage, with the strength, with the great armor, 740, 126% armor. It could be better. You could have got a flat armor and energy shield roll as well, but like, this is near perfect, near perfect on a 3 socket, obviously on an exceptional base. Too risky, too corrupted at this stage, so I'm not doing that. Then I crafted the gloves, also armor. This, I needed the resistances, so I couldn't get the armor applies to elemental damage as well on this. It would have been nice. Got a useless stat there, adds lightning damage, but again, to craft a perfect pair of these and get some rarity on it, was really, really tough. And then obviously I've put in an extra dual socket in there. The dual sockets, minion, energy shield. Um, I haven't bought nice 5 mod ones yet. The belt we saw earlier, minion, chaos. A bit of extra life there. A great belt. I bought 500 div earlier in the league. These things, I'm sure this particular one is now thousands of div. And then I crafted the boots. The boots, I crafted many different types of boots. I've got lots in my stash for different situations, different resistances. I've gone with rarity here. I want to at least break the rarity point, but I crafted many spirit boots. So I put the spirit on the boots, got the 3 sockets in it, um, which was lucky as well, with the corruption. Um, Standard charms. The gold charm, I'm doing the one which gives you extra energy shield. The owl gives you the extra energy shield when you kill an elite, I think it is. So that's quite nice, and just instant life flask with charges gained, and more mana with charges gained. So those are the gear. To the passive tree, we're going down the left side as usual for the unholy might buffs on the minions. As we said, we're doing the radius of that, and we've got our jewel in the middle, which is, boosted. Just got my 2-socket sapphire here. My what is it called again? Voices. Could only afford it. The rest is expensive. Still trying to farm. So I come down to this. I don't take these nodes. Early in the league, I take Relentless Fallen and I start up here, and then I come up this main tree here. But I've actually path out of this for more defense for the race, obviously. But I come down here for the energy shield and intelligence. Energy shield and intelligence. This is one of the unique nodes. I don't see a lot of people doing this. But again, armor and energy shield, armor and energy shield, armor and energy shield. Plus, it gives me this. Big boost in armor, big boost in energy shield, plus 3% movement. I love this node. For these 5 points, I think is a lot of value. I'll also come down here, which is not, I think, a typical stance. You get increased damage here and critical hit chance, but you also go into this node here, Devoted Protector. So you've got your increased armor, your armor applies to elemental damage, faster start, and 5 to strength. I think that's a brilliant node, just for utility purposes, a bit more tanky. We obviously then come up early, then you go up here for your Lord of Horrors and your Right Hand of Darkness and your Spirit Reservation. These are all standard things. Come here for your elemental resistances and a bit of attack speed, etc. These nodes here are just damage, minion attack speed, a bit of extra speed. Then you come through here for your energy shield, and up here, energy shield. Then I've recently respec'd a couple of spare nodes into this regenerative flesh for a bit of tankiness for my minions, because I found they were dying in certain situations. Giving your minions, you need the chaos resist here. I was into gigantic following, but with the amulet that changed. I've kept these. So then we've obviously got the standard minion nodes here. We're going down here for the jewel with the +3 skeletal archers. And then defensively, we've also got these nodes here and there. And that's the build. So I didn't quite finish the video. What I didn't go through is resistances and all the stats. So what you'll see is my resistances. I'm capped except for cold. I think this is the least to be worried about. I've got damage recouped as life 6. I think that's not on the feet. This was from that stat that I took, the new one. So a little bit of help there for defenses. Quite good energy shield. Mana also gives me damage, so trying to get as high as I can there. So I've got to 1200, balancing everything. And this is the unique kind of defensive layers that I have. So armor applying to chaos damage is 621. That's from a defensive node on the tree. Um, so 8% less chaos damage I'm taking, 33% less elemental damage I'm taking, and 64% less physical damage than I'm taking. And all of this then coupled with quite a big energy shield makes you pretty tanky. Um, and I also said, which I didn't do, is to go and look at the skeletal sniper just to show the damage. So it's 119, but as soon as I use pain offering and with upwelling at the same time, when I'm not on full mana, I get additional damage. Goes up to 179k DPS. Shooting twice most of the time, 92% of the time. So very decent, very decent damage. This is an Omanamu um, effect that's just happened. So that is the build guide.